Welcome everyone to day 14. We are 2 weeks in to our 30 days of shame to empowerment journey. So congratulate yourself. You're halfway through this amazing transformation. You've come a long way. Really, it does mean you should celebrate yourself. Honestly, when you do this kind of work, really give yourself permission to enjoy it and to celebrate how far you've come. These last, or I should say, the first 14 days behind us now have been about awareness, shining light in the hidden corners where shame lives inside of us. And today, we're not going to so much learn something new, but we're going to pause a little bit and we're going to take a look at what it is that we have discovered and what we've become aware of since these 14 days have gone by, and really just celebrate that. So, the past week, we met the pillars of shame, the four common ways that especially women typically react to when shame shows up. And the first one is drawing in, meaning, withdrawing from the situation, life, whatever's going on. Um, and so when we're hiding like that or going silent, what we're really doing is avoiding being judged. And nobody wants to be judged. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not comfortable at all. The second way is listening to that inner critic. When we turn inward with criticism or perfectionism, we're really just judging ourselves. This will lead you nowhere fast. And you definitely want to curb those particular tendencies. I know as a type A personality, one of the reasons I wrote my book, Always Choose Love, is because I was so focused on the willpower, will centered, third eye kind of activity. Just put your head down, get moving, get stuff done, don't stop. In my case, until I dropped. Perfectionism was definitely a part of that. So, yeah, we don't want to do the inner critic. We don't want to listen to that. We want to change our perception of what's going on there. The third one is ignoring life, basically just pretending it's not happening. Just distract yourself or numb yourself or just stay monstrously busy, to escape the pain that you feel is going on inside. And the fourth is lashing out, which women don't typically like to do, but it happens when you get to that tipping point. You projecting that discomfort outward. You're usually in a blame way, or you're being incredibly defensive. And this is unfortunately what happens typically to people that are closest to us because they're there. And so we lash out and unfortunately damage relationships that way, friends, family, loved ones. So, each of these, as we have discussed, is an old survival strategy. They're not character flaws. Make that really clear in your mind. Um, they are signs of intelligence. At some point in your life, your system decided these reactions were the best way to stay safe. That's just all there is to it. Your ego tries to keep you safe. And what we've been discovering through this 14 days of work is the ways that we have protected our own power when we didn't feel safe enough to express it. And everyone has a way of defending themselves when they feel exposed and vulnerable, right? It takes courage to be vulnerable. The goal isn't to get rid of the armor that we have, it's to learn when we're wearing it, we can gently just set it down. We don't need it right now. Awareness is the key. That's what this particular 2 weeks is, or the last week actually, was about learning to recognize those patterns without judgment. So when you can say, oh, I'm withdrawing right now, or I'm numbing out because I feel small, that means you are being in awareness. You are being in a place that you need to know what is going on inside yourself. And that awareness is really, as I've said a few times now, the first step towards transformation and change and moving towards freedom is that step of awareness. Acceptance is another word that I use for that a lot. When we're struggling in growth and personal transformation, many times the obstacle is that we don't want to accept the pain that is there. That happens so much in situations like grief. Nobody wants to accept grief. In order to get past it, you need to. So, there you go. Where are we now? Okay, so um I just want to say it's easy to underestimate this work because it's internal, right? Nobody knows what's going on except yourself. But just know that the effects on your life of doing this kind of transformational work are enormous, enormous. Keep you from being stuck and allow you to move forward in whatever it is you are seeking, your desires, your deepest desires, your goals, all of those things. You're literally rewiring neural pathways in your brain and retraining your emotional habits and teaching your nervous system that it's safe to stay present, be in the present, especially when it's feeling fear, when the ego is feeling fear. You teach it to stay in the present and shift that fear into a love space. If you've noticed even one of these patterns over the last week that we've talked about, these 4 patterns, if you caught yourself, I don't know, mid scroll or mid apology or in the middle of snapping at someone, thought, wait, I know what this is. That's progress. That's healing in motion. So acknowledge it for yourself. Give yourself credit for doing that. Let's just take a few minutes to look back on this week. I'll just ask you a few questions. Just if you're sitting or standing, you can be walking, but just reviewing in your mind over this past week or so, which pattern showed up for me the most? Oftentimes it is a similar pattern. Oftentimes it's one that you struggle with, or you have one or two you go back and forth with, but most of the time it's one that you have learned to use over and over again. So be aware of that. And what are the triggers that you're now aware of now that you weren't aware of a week ago? What are the triggers? What sends you into that place where you either withdraw or attack yourself or others or just freaking avoid everything? What are the triggers? Those are important. Anchor those triggers. Like every time you know it comes up and you see the trigger, touch yourself, anchor it so you know what is happening there and you can respond to it instead of letting it just slide past. What did you learn about the way shame moves through your body or your mind or your relationships? Whatever you were focusing on, oftentimes it's somatic because the body remembers everything. You could know how your body was experiencing shame because oftentimes that translates into long way down the road some kind of dis-ease. I'm not talking about like big diseases, but a feeling of discomfort and not being easy in the body. And the body will tell you often what is happening there. Was there a moment where you chose to stay instead of accept, to breathe instead of react? It's a good sign. That's what you want. That's the change that you're making. So you might even want to flip back through your workbook or your journal notes, whatever you're using from these earlier days, and just notice how your awareness has evolved from day 1 to day 14. And maybe you're going to start seeing a pattern. And that's a big deal because once you recognize it, you are in the process of changing it and creating a new habit. And that's where you want to be. So the important part is don't turn this reflection into another shame spiral. Okay, we're not here trying to judge ourselves. Don't grade yourself. Just witness your own growth and give yourself congratulations for it. Women don't do that enough. Celebrate yourself. So awareness alone is powerful. Every time you notice what's happening inside of you instead of running on autopilot, You reclaim a little piece of your freedom. And you're unlearning patterns that have been operating there for decades. So be patient. It takes courage and it takes compassion. So instead of trying to push to fix something, practice gratitude for the awareness that you have already developed. You can say to yourself, I see myself more clearly now than I did before. And that's enough for today. It's as simple as that. Clarity is healing. It's the soil where new responses begin to grow. And we are learning new ways to love ourselves. Practicing self-care, so important, especially for women as they age. Okay, so day 14. Wow, can't believe it. We have 2 weeks left. Today we're celebrating your courage. We're really just acknowledging that you've gone deep into the unseen work, that you've transformed from the inside out, that you're taking time today to just rest and reflect and let these insights settle and become part of how you are being on a regular daily basis. Okay? So on Monday, this is a little bit of a switch. Tomorrow I won't be online because I have to have a medical procedure. So we'll start up again on Monday, and we're going to shift from awareness into resilience. And we'll explore how we meet shame with strength and compassion and some new tools that are going to help you stay empowered no matter what life brings along. Okay? This is what resilience really looks like. Living our best lives and developing that freedom that allows us to be authentic, that allows us to be who we are. And that's the best kind of freedom you can have. Have a blessed weekend, and I will see you on Monday.